had for many years, and we were very proud when we came off, except they finished up with 14 players, which was a bit disappointing.
Have you played many tougher matches?
Oh yes, definitely. Yeah.
That was a crazy question to ask you.
The 71 Springboks, I think I still remember that because I couldn't eat my orange at half time. But, yeah.
What were the actual tactics that day? I mean, we saw a few of the highlights, and so you were actually told to go out and start a blue?
I must admit, I don't want to ruin Brock's image in rugby circles, but he did say one in, all in. And we had some good men on the side that day. Fanane couldn't make it, so Ronnie Graham came in, but we had Ray Price and Tony Shaw and Reggie Smith, and they weren't, and Peter Horton. I think he was a troublemaker, Peter. And consequently, we had this all-in brawl, and I copped the Liverpool kiss from Mickey Burton.
We saw that. Let's take a look at this. It started very early in the match. Well, it happened from the kick-off. Here it is.
And the Australian forwards driving into that first ruck. And McDougall for Australia, very fierce in that ruck. And there's a violent hit. Hipple the blind side. And the winger Osborne over the quarter line. Hipple again, but in touch. And that was a violent start by Australia. It was McDougall, the prop forward #1 for Australia, who was really fiery in that ruck. It was McDougall, the prop forward #1 for Australia, who was really fiery in that ruck.
Well, it was very difficult to see why it was going on. Everything seemed to be quite clear, and McDougall was thrashing away there. The referee couldn't see it. He was on the far side of that maul.
Well, what a start to the Test match. My goodness. Gee, I'm glad I wasn't playing that particular match. It just looked so fierce.
The game has changed, Russ. I must admit, we didn't get a lot of dollars in those days.
I think that would have been 2 years suspension, Russ.
Instantly sent-off material, but like Brock said, it was one in, all in.
Yeah, but it was trick photography. I must admit that the fella on the ground at the time did admit after the game that I didn't put the boot into him. It was just that he was on the wrong side of the cameras at the time. But the next bit of action in the line-out, that's when it got exciting, when they start to talk about convicts, you know, and we all know how we feel about that.
Well, take a look at this. Here's it happening in the line-out. Ray Price and Peter Horton. Horton 2, Price 7. Well, they didn't miss too many times, did they?
No, I must admit. Pretty exciting moment, really. Oh, here comes Raymond.
#3 against him is Mike Burton.
What prompted it, Stu? The convict line, or was just...
No, I must admit, we're pretty fired up. I was vice captain on that day, and Brock did give me a few moments with the forwards, and I thought a blue could be on. I wanted to make sure the rest of them were with me.
I'm just amazed that the English player was actually cautioned. By the cameras, it looked like, Stu, that you were the starter of the whole thing.
They used to go to was Mike Burton.
The cameras do tell lies, David, as you would know.
Right?
But what happened, Mick gave me the Liverpool kiss after the referee tried to break it up. And as you can see, he didn't get my nose. And there's another moment. Do we see Mick getting set up? Yeah.
Well, that was the first. We saw the kick-off and we saw the very first line-out. It was an attempted penalty goal. This is that missed, and this is the result of the penalty kick and the 22 out.
So that's the first 3 minutes of the game.
I always told my children never to start a fight.
Well, Mike Burton, I'm sure the first Englishman to be sent from the football field in a Test match. So he has to live with that. But take a look at this high and elbow right.
That's rugby league in a couple of years.
Very nasty, very nasty.
So now we know where rugby league got all their...
I can't believe that Mick's still
Problems
mingling in rugby.